Hi, fiends. Thanks for joining me on yet another episode of DonnaJean's Coffee House of Horror. And I am absolutely delighted. I have some amazing and awesome people here with me today. Well, not quite here with me, but as close as we could get. We're going to discuss the movie Z-ero.
Strength test number 1.
I want that new subject brought in. Alive!
He was definitely infected by the female alpha.
He's the first and only one that we know of. Without him, we can't.
But you're gonna eat my brain anyway, right?
That will be a no.
With me is Wesley Spangler, who is the director, the writer, and actor. And we've also got some familiar zombies to you horror fans here, or not here, but in the film. Sonia Thompson and Jeremy Ambler from The Walking Dead are a part of the film. Jim Krut, who is with us here today, you would know him from the Dawn of the Dead, as well as some new zombie faces. And I'm going to introduce them one at a time, and they can talk to you a little bit about their roles in the film. Russell Voelker.
My name is Dr. Quisling, which translated according to our director means traitor. I don't know how he came about that, but I'm the zombie maker. I'm the mad scientist. Huh?
Tell them what your name used to be.
Quisley?
Yeah. Quinsley. You
Quinsley.
started saying Quinsley, whatever your new one was, and we just kept it at that.
Yeah. But I'm under the orders of Agent S. I've been to her will.
I guess every horror film needs a mad scientist bouncing around in the background somewhere. So Rita Christine, and I adore you. I love you, Ms. Lady. Tell us what your part in this film is.
Well, I am the best friend of the lead character, Johnny. That I am the crazy best friend. I just rant and rave and pick on him all day long.
Why do I think that you would do ranting and raving really well?
Because I go off on one subject to another in any given day in my normal life.
Could be. Russell Sage Patrick, do you want to fill us in a little bit about your character?
Absolutely, yeah, no problem. My character is Ash Williams. He is a mercenary government contractor, and he's been brought into this. And Agent S is kind of his boss as well, except for he doesn't particularly care working for her, but it does pay the bills. The character is just I love to kill zombies because that's my job. And and I don't need all that much help, but they keep sending me assholes that I gotta look out for and take care of, and I gotta watch their back and watch my back at the same time. Ah, oh man. If it ain't one thing, it's something else. The bureaucracy of the government. And I'm an associate producer too, so but, I love being in this film. Wesley, God, man, thank you, dude, for bringing me on. You're awesome, and everybody that I've worked with so far, that we've had a blast and lots of fun. Honestly, I still don't know the end of the movie, so I don't know if Ash lives or dies, but he does kick ass, so.
Well, you're still filming, so I guess some of the what's going to happen is a surprise. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See,
Sounds like you're.
I have to admit, that's one of the things that Wesley does, right? He only gives you that part of the script that you need for that day, right? So everybody's just kind of hanging on. Well, what happens next? What happens to me, or what happens to them? So on and so forth. But I think that's an awesome way to do it, because you never know what's next.
That's actually is pretty cool, because then, yeah, you're kind of living it as you go.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Ms. Michelle Mullins, would you want to fill us in a bit on your character?
Well, I would love to. In the film, I play Agent S, and she's a bit of a highly educated government type employee. She's the boss lady of Ash Williams and Dr. Quisling, and she's kind of the brains, so to speak, of the group. And she takes her job very seriously, and she reports information about the Alpha to her superiors. And she seems to lose her patience a little bit with Quisling, because time is so important that we, nail this down and get this Alpha before there's an outbreak and more victims. So that's my general breakdown of my character.
Okay. And Sharah, is that correct?
Yes.
Sharah and Bobby, this is your first film, and you're doing it together, is my understanding of it. How is it working with veterans like Jim Krut? How is it like being in there? That has to be very awesome when you're a zombie fan, being able to be involved with this.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. We haven't worked with a lot of the, bigger names yet. But it's definitely very cool being in the same movie that, real actors are in.
You're a real actor.
Yes, I was just thinking that too. You're real actors.
Yeah.
And you'll have
play
your
around
name
with
on the
stuff.
film to prove it. What are your characters? Would you want to talk a little bit about that?
So I am the alpha zombie, alpha female zombie. I kind of control the hordes of zombies. I don't know how much I can talk about without, giving stuff away, but yeah,
You have super strength.
yeah, super strength and speed, and
She's the boss. She's the boss.
Intelligence.
Hey, I have fought with her. She is badass, let me tell you.
Yeah,
I
she
can't
threw
tell
me
you how it
across the
goes,
room.
but
So Bobby, is your zombie self just following in the direction and the orders?
Yeah. So I did a little part as an extra zombie, but I'm also Agent L, following orders from Agent S, basically kind of more or less going in and getting dirty, kind of doing the stuff myself a little bit. And I take the orders, I give the orders. I'm kind of like the middleman. so I don't think anybody really likes me, but you know.
You have to have some antagonism, I guess, somebody to love and root for and somebody to not love quite so much.
Yeah.
So how was the experience? We have so many zombies here. How's the experience with the makeup and all that and kind of functioning in that with that?
I mean, I do my own makeup. I don't have a lot of makeup. I would say mine's probably the most minimal of the zombies. So I can't say a whole lot to that. We do work for a haunted house as well, so we're used to that kind of makeup. So it doesn't really do a whole, change a whole lot for us. It's kind of daily stuff.
Well, I am actually going to jump in and ask Jim to introduce his character. And since you're probably well versed with the zombie-esque world.
Well, thank you very much, DonnaJean. And I first want to say that, as one of the actors, I'm grateful always to be cast. And everybody has a first movie if they're going to be an actor or be in the movies. So just learn as much as you can, jump into it and give it everything you got. Secondly, I just wanted to mention that I've read the script and in my head, I've seen all of the characters, but until this moment, until this broadcast, have not really been able to put those characters together with the faces that I'm seeing right now. And I find that kind of a fascinating part of the process. It's like, oh, yes. So I'm enjoying this session, particularly for that too. My character in Z-ero is the foster dad. So I can get called Dad. That's my name, Dad. I heard that a lot from my daughters when they were growing up, and usually it was more pronounced Dad, but it's kind of okay now. And at one point, I call Johnny, who's the main character running around through things here, and bring him in to reveal a certain bit of information or a secret bit of information to him. And without being one of those people who drops spoilers and tells you the whole plot, we want everybody to go out and see the movie. But I would say, yeah, it's a pivotal point. It's a very pivotal point. One other quick thing about the shooting part that I had, it was in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, and I live in Gettysburg, which is about 30 miles away. And the scenes were filmed at the 1912 Hoover House, which is a historic building in downtown Waynesboro. I'd never been in it before. And they said they were conducting a paranormal research that night at the house. And as you walk in, there's a sign that says this house is haunted, which is always cool, as an introduction to getting into a location and finding out, who you're working with and such. But I was almost immediately greeted by the proprietors at Jim Krut. It was Pam and Steve Barry, who used to run the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange in Gettysburg. And I did a couple shows with them in the past. I had no idea that they had moved to Waynesboro, bought and live in this 1912 Hoover House. So, they say ghosts are things from somebody's past. Well, these were people from my past who just happened to be live. And I was very glad of that. So that was kind of an unusual little shock, but it was also a very friendly kind of welcome to the scene, as it were.
One of the things I was thinking that I wanted to ask is if any of you folks who have been in this for a while did have any suggestions or bits of advice for any of the newer people. And it sounds as though you started out with some pearls of wisdom, Jim.
One of the hardest things, I was just going to say, one of the hardest things people tend to face as they get a script is learning the lines. And there's a real easy way to do it. Buckle down and do it. That's it. I don't think there is any easy way. Everybody has different
word at a
techniques, from
time.
recording to, reading with somebody is usually the better way, because you get a chance to figure out the timing of responses. But usually scripts have a certain rhythm to them, and your character should have a certain rhythm. And if you can pick up on that, you can hopefully keep your character consistent unless they go through some kinds of changes. But it can be hard. And I think one of the nice things working with Wesley on this was, if something doesn't sound right, or it doesn't seem right, or it doesn't fit, let's iron it out, make it work. And a lot of locations, a lot of scripts don't give you that freedom. A lot of shooting situations do not give you that freedom. I mean, there are some sets where you don't talk unless it's your turn to talk, or you'll be sitting in the corner unless you're booted off the set for speaking out of turn or talking to the star or whatever it might be. So there wasn't any of that tension. It was just like, hey, this is really nice. These are good people to work with.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
Back at you, Wes.
Thanks, Dad.
Would anybody
son.
else
Well,
have
son.
any pearls of wisdom to throw out there for younger people contemplating, who would love to get into acting or even filmmaking, but are kind of afraid to do it?
Never give up, never surrender. No, really, keep on, just keep on putting your trying to put your foot in the door. You're going to get a lot more no's than you are yeses, but sooner or later it's going to click, and you'll be there, so just takes time. I mean, I've been doing this since I was 5 years old, and you see where I am today. Oh. Yeah, but I love it, so just keep at it.
This isn't my first rodeo with the other Russ and Michelle. The three of us have worked on a lot of different projects together.
It's actually something that is very cool to see. Quite often within indie filmmaking, there seems to be groups of people that work together very often and really get to know each other and be very fond of each other. And you can just see that it really works. It really comes out.
Yeah. Or you could be like me and Jim and be in like 5 different movies together and never be on set together.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
But you're here together now. You can actually see each other.
Oh, I love
Sort
Jim.
of.
He's such a sweetheart. We are good
Reaching
friends.
out.
I talk to him every chance I get to see him in person.
Let's talk a little bit. I guess, Wesley, this will probably come down to being mostly about you. Let's talk a little bit about the funding info, because there's still funding going on for the film. Is that correct?
Yes. If anybody wants to contribute, I mean, my thing that makes me the happiest, if you just contribute your actual talent, not the monetary part, but just your talent. I'm happy and just having a good time with it. If anybody wants to do more than that, they are more than welcome. There are some links I have to get you if I don't have, if you don't have them already, for the, I think we're doing PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. So those are 3 easiest ways. I didn't do a GoFundMe, and I didn't do a any other kind of fundraising.
If there's somebody that's watching this and you happen to still be filming, should people just shoot you an email and say, hey, I'd like to be an extra, I'd like to help?
Yeah, they can find me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or whatever, or even on my website for the band that I have. But just reach out to me, and if there's definitely a hole to fill, I'll get back to you ASAP and let you know what we have. Most of the scenes have been figured out right now that we have left to shoot, so we have pretty much everybody figured out what they need. But you never know. Plan B, scenarios come into play sometimes where guy or girl can't make it, or somebody, it's a scheduling conflict or whatever. Things change. I've learned that with this more so than anything in my life. My goodness, we've had to tweak and change and modify and rewrite and a bunch of other stuff 1,000 times to what I had originally in mind for this. Keep in mind, originally, this was only going to be a trailer. I had some stupid idea in my head, like I always do. Hey, I'm going to make a little trailer for a movie. I had this idea for Z-ero, this zombie hero, kind of a cross between, I guess, one of your zombie films and like a Marvel film, one of those things. And I'm gonna make a trailer for it because I got nothing better to do. So, and it ends up our next filming on the 17th of July. We got like 38 people showing up, if not more. So it's grown into something more bigger than myself or bigger than ourselves. It's taken on.
You said originally it was going to be a web series, right, Wes?
Yeah, originally it was just supposed to be a trailer. Then I said, well, if we're going to do this, since we're in the thick of it right now, I may as well try to bust up into parts and make a little web series out of it. That each little chapter, you see a new part over several weeks. And then I was thinking, well, I'll just make it one big blob and see what happens. Now we just got to get them.
Well, I am going to get in there and talk a little bit about what I've been made familiar about the funding info, because I have the information. And if anybody wants to get involved and help with the funding of this so that more, bigger, better, faster, and all that kind of stuff can happen, and possibly maybe even they might get paid a little bit. My understanding is there are 2 things offered as perks: an associate producer for $100 and a special thanks and the credit for $20. That's what Matt passed on to me. And if anyone wants,
by the way,
what's that?
I said, shout out to Matt, by the way. He's my kind of go-to. He's the person, I guess, the key person that changed this from a trailer to a full-on movie. Because he just said, I know this person, they could do this. I know this location, we could do this, we could do this. And all of a sudden it opened my eyes to this whole world of actors and such that are in that general area. The majority of this is happening from Hagerstown to Waynesboro in that general vicinity of Martinsburg and such. And there are so many awesome people, as you see right here today, and awesome actors and cool locations and stuff. And even if they're like an alternate or a changed location, because I had several that were, I think we need to do it here. And then that didn't work out. So Matt says, hey, you should try this place. And gets me thinking, gets my thinking cap on. Good gravy. It's been a lot of thinking.
Matt has a way of getting those things done.
If you want to talk about my character, let me know too. It's not a whole lot, but
I actually was going to jump in there. So that would be great. This is a good time for it.
Anywho, so my character is Johnny Barnes, the regular old, nothing guy here. What he does, a lot of little snippet things that I'm putting in this that are kind of keys to certain other things. So I can't tell a whole lot about the story about this person, but starts out, he gets infected by the alpha female. And she bites on him, but leaves it for some reason. I guess we'll find out. Instead of finishing them off, like some of these, you either get bitten, whatever, partially eaten, and you come back as a zombie, or you get eaten all the way with some people and eat your brains or whatever. This guy just gets like a bite on his arm. So, and then wakes up and finds out he has these special abilities like the alpha zombie. So this is a whole journey to figuring out what he's going to do with all this stuff and how he's going to use these abilities and go on with that. I also play one other character that I had to by default. I had to play the patio door zombie, so I had to actually be a zombie of my own. So we just needed somebody, and I was the only one available. I was because we were from Nashville, so I had to be a zombie. Once again, FYI, I'm not a real big horror film fan. Sorry. I saw The Ring one time. It gave me nightmares. And I was like, I'm done. And I've always been a big Christmas fan. Love Christmas. That's my favorite holiday as opposed to Halloween. a dream came true that I was able to get into a production in Tennessee that they were filming a Christmas movie. So I was like, yes, I got my Christmas movie. Now I can move on with my life.
Well, next thing you know, you'll be doing a Christmas zombie movie. And you'll wonder, how did that happen?
I have two different ideas. Two different ideas for part two. One of them, I asked Matt because he's my zombie expert, I guess. But has this movie been done? Everything's been done, right? So part two is either gonna be a continuation of this one, or I had an idea and it has to be a location based, or it'll be a Western based zombie film, like a Wild West zombie film, which I thought that was cool, but pulling it off, like I say, big ideas in this head. What comes out, is in the camera isn't always what's in my head. We'll see what happens.
Cowboys versus zombies, right?
Yeah, really. It's like Cowboys versus aliens.
The next step from Cowboys versus aliens, Cowboys versus zombies.
They should have did it.
If you started out though with just thinking that this was going to be a trailer, were you folks all some of those people that showed up to be involved with that and that helped to stretch this out to being a bigger thing?
Yeah, once I saw these people showing up and what they could do, first the dynamic trio showed up as Russell, and Michelle. I was like, oh my God, you got to do something with these people, man. I can't just do a little snippet. You got to put a full-on product together with these people. They know what they're doing. So they came on to the scenes, and I was blown away. I was like, good Lord, we got to do this. That's my Han, Luke, and Leia out of this movie. I don't know who's kissing who, but
it is a curious prospect, and how it would have gone from, gee, I'm going to make it this little thing that was just kind of this little bit of a story. Did the storyline actually grow around you? Were you inspired by the other people here involved who were kind of helping you along the way?
Yeah, it's a combination. I've been saying for years that, hey, once I get a little bit of video equipment, I'm going to make this zombie hero film, and it's going to be cool, man, and we'll see what happens. But you know what? Maybe I'll just do a trailer. Just see it, just for grins, just to put up some more content, because everybody needs new content on social media and YouTube and such. So, and I had the story not written out, but the story is jumbled in my head, begging to get out. It's like fighting to get out. I was like, I know different parts of the whole thing from beginning to end, and parts in the middle, and then these people show up more like Rita and like of course Jim and everybody else shows up, and it's Jim got the whole script, the entire script before he did his part, but that's not even the entire script, because it's changing, it's added, it's tweaking, it's blah blah blah. So it's growing and growing. Not only for the fact that I need to pad this film, man. Good Lord, you do 8 hours worth of filming and you edit it and it ends up 5 minutes. I'm like, oh no, what have I gotten into? So hopefully we'll make this happen. I mean, the goal is like 1.5 to 2 hours, and I'm going to be doing everything I can to get an hour out of this, unless I come up with some more tricks out of this empty vessel here, which hopefully I will. There's tons of ideas, but getting scheduled to do them and pulling them off, that's another thing. We have a bunch of ideas. Each character, I have 3 different stories for them written out and partially in my head as well. So each character has a different way that they're going to make it through the movie. And then based on location, based on availability, based on timing, that's when I decide at the last minute to pick which one they're going to do. And so far it's working. We'll see how it happens. And I think everybody's going to be happy at the end. All the actors are going to be happy, because why not, right?
So speaking at the end, since you're still in the process of filming, do you have any thoughts about when things are going to be wrapped up, when it'll be able to premiere?
I have a goal in my head to get this finished filming by the end of July, one way or another. And I have a lot of stuff already done. There's a couple big scenes coming up that we already have scheduled. And there's a lot of little things that I can do pretty much on my own or with my wife that's featured in this, starring in the film, and Gracie, the dog, trying to implement her more in this. My dog daughter, Gracie. So I'm trying to weave them and some other just a little B-roll stuff and extras and things like that to kind of get this thing filmed end of July, edited by the end of September, ready for feature in October. My only monkey wrench in this whole thing is that I, in October, will be on a ship because I got a cruise contract to perform that I'm doing a featured show that they're trying to work up. But you know what? If it's ready for October of this year, it's going to be out there wherever I can get it. And these guys, if they want to, Matt was talking about actually doing what they did in Brazen Impact, is having it premiere in that movie theater that they did in, where's it, Waynesboro? I can't remember.
Waynesboro, yeah, that would be awesome.
So, and if I'm not there, I'll do a live via satellite thing, whatever. But have it out sooner. The goal was always this October. This contract thing happened this year in the middle of filming, because I was supposed to do this April of 2020. So that didn't happen.
That's actually we're tap it out in October anyway, although Halloween is not your favorite holiday. How awesome it would be to have it come out in the Halloween season.
Yeah.
So that people will be able to get out and see it.
Oh.
Donna, real quick, if I can, you had mentioned earlier about the zombie effects. I just want to put this out there. I don't personally know the special effects makeup people personally, but I want to tell you, these ladies that have worked on this film are freaking awesome. I've seen some incredible makeup with practically nothing on hand that these ladies had come up with and they had done, and it's pretty gross looking stuff, but they are phenomenal, and I just have to say that Wes knows their names, and he can put that out there, but yeah, they kick ass. So I hope I can say that.
Yes, our
All right with me.
Our cast and crew list is growing. I'm going back in these group message chats that we have on Facebook where we break down everything. So it's just the people that are in this scene and this and stuff like that. But this list, and I'm at a point where I'm starting to forget who's doing what, and I have to get reminded, which is a good thing because we have that many people, and there's probably 30, 40 people involved in this, if not more. So as we get towards the end of this July filming, I'll be messaging to make sure nobody gets forgotten. I definitely don't want somebody to be in this project that at the end of this film and the credits are rolling, that they don't see their name and what they're doing. I have names for Jim. I have his character name, Sonia, which was awesome to work with too, her name, and a bunch of other names I've given people. And if you don't have a name, you're either a zombie or a victim or something. I have multiple people playing multiple roles. So my man Jeff there, Mr. Eager to do stuff and help out, he has a couple different things now, one of which is off camera, just a phone call thing. So stuff like that has been really helpful. But I like just keep me posted or keep my memory working with who's doing what and what who did what, I should say, so I don't forget. Well, this is definitely a zero budget film, basically, but I'm trying my goal, and I keep telling everybody, this is gonna be a little cheesy, little indie, you know what I mean, as opposed to the big productions. But I'm trying my hardest to make this thing so you could share it and not get embarrassed by it. Because I've seen some other indie projects that have been put out there that I don't know if I'd want to tell my friends about. So I'm trying my hardest to make this thing at least, there's going to be some camera issues, there's going to be some acting issues, there's going to be some, things, some goofy stuff. That's given in this. This is my first shot at making a full-length film. So there's going to be a little quirkiness to it, like my BFF the quirky BFF, Rita. So with that in mind, hopefully just making this thing so people can say, hey, look at this, check it out, I was in this. And the acting, you know, for the majority of everybody in there, they're stepping it up. So it helps. And trying to do some things with editing that'll help everybody else, because you're seeing it when you're there filming and then seeing it after I get my hands on it in editing, two completely different things. I mean, there's one scene where I'm fighting Sharah there in their haunted house that I changed, color corrected crap out of. So I thought, I had a weird idea. I was like, what would this look like with this color grade? And I tried that and I was like, oh man, that just stepped it up another couple of notches. So hopefully, you know, and as we're doing these groups and talking about these films and scheduling people, I'm also on occasion sending them, you know, video clips of what they did and what we're doing, so they can see kind of what they did and what they were in as the raw part of the video, you know, a little editing done, but not full editing, so they can get a clue and see what the cuts are, you know, and how they, you know, he rolls up in a truck and then he hops out. What's up with that? But if I cut it together, then you could see, oh, they add a little music in the back. Oh my God, that's Ash. Ash has a rock star freaking heroes intro, man. It's like awesome. And then Sharah with that alleyway thing. We were filming and it got a little wind and it blew a piece of plastic by. I'm like, tumbleweeds. I was like, we gotta do it. We're all like grabbing plastic out of the garbage and we're like ripping it up in little pieces and threw it, and it blows right at her. Like, there's one other thing I added that you're gonna see when this thing is in, that these Wild West films, that's where I got this from, the tumbleweed stuff to the plastic blowing behind her as she's standing there. But there's one thing I found that I added. Oh, you'll recognize it. You can't not recognize it. You know your Western. And it just, I think it just made it.
So some of these things that sort of just kind of came in, and I am starting to understand that probably at least part of why everybody knows what they're filming that day is that it's changing in your mind as things are going. So having things kind of grow and come to fruition, it's sounding really awesome. And, you know, being and I also have seen some indie films that people probably are like, oh yeah, that was an early film of mine. But there's also, it's amazing the things that can happen with indie films so much. I mean, just think of Terrifier. You know, Terrifier being an indie film, and people just got so engrossed in it that everybody wanted the second one to come out, which should be coming out. It was just announced around Halloween. But the more that people become engrossed in your stories, the more they become involved and the more that you can do, so you can take it and run with it. So did you say you're thinking of there being a part 2 to this one? You're just going to make it a Christmas Western zombie movie?
Sure, why not? Let's get through this one first. My biggest selling point, being a first time full-length filmmaker, is making this pretty cohesive. Can you follow all what I'm doing and get what's happening? Do you know that this person walked into this room and is going to sit over here? Do you know what this person said? How is that relevant? The storytelling, I'm always tweaking stuff with it, and more so the matching the stories with the videos. And I film a scene and I was like, if I only would have did this one little thing. So there's going to be a bunch of that I missed, but hopefully I caught enough that you can kind of get just make it a cohesive story from start to beginning. You have a thing and you can follow through. When you get lost in an indie film project, that's weird, because you're like, well, I don't know what's going on, who's what and where, when, why, I don't know. So this is the main goal, like I say, other than being not embarrassing to people, is making it so you can at least clearly tell what's going on. You know, you get clear. It's you know, there's going to be little things in it, but hopefully, like I say, and I'm always beat myself up about this, because I just think that level's up here and I'm always reaching, you know, like, if I could just make this a little bit better, even if it's cutting a little less or adding a little bit more or making some B-roll stuff here. Hopefully this will go, and everybody else, involved in this, the actors especially, are being very, very nice about this. Because I was like, oh, we've had some, issues with cameras and stuff like this where, I'm filming a thing, we get it done, I look at it, it's like, it's not quite right. Can we do this again next week? Because you're already doing this for nothing. Why not do it more for nothing, right? And they're like,
do it more for nothing.
I'll do it.
And for a
Because
penny,
you're gonna
it's
eat my
pound.
brains anyway, right?
Yes. Inside the building where we're filming on the 17th, I'll have it do the green screen poses, the action poses, because the film poster is the next thing to work on too. And that's going to be a combination between like the horror film with this big face in the back to a Marvel kind of poster where you see the heroes in the middle and these pictures around them of the other characters, the main characters. So we need everybody's picture on a green screen so it could be easier to make that poster. So we'll get that, do this. So we'll make it, 17th is going to be a party, man. It's the final fight in the film. It's not the final filming or final scene, whatever, but it's a final fight scene in it. But I still have more to film afterwards. And Quisling, I think you've got something special going to happen. So don't run off when we're done. Yeah. And I already resided in the fact that this film will have an end credit scene. So if you're doing a Marvel-esque movie, you got to have an end credit scene. At least
Exactly.
one.
Exactly.
Maybe two. So we'll see. So stick around after the credits. And there's more runtime. We got to pad this runtime, man. It's getting crazy. We got a 5-minute film after filming for 50 days. It's all Ash kicking ass. And Rita with her colorful metaphors, and Sharah with
Gonna
her
eat my brains anyway.
with her stare, her 50-yard stare. For somebody that's never acted, Sharah, you play your character like perfect, like absolutely perfect. And Bob,
She's scary. She's freaking scary.
Yeah, that's not acting. That's just her.
I want to ask you too.
By the way, one of the best. She has one of the best makeups, and the makeup artists with the zombies are like over the top. She has great makeup. Zombies have great makeup. I'm coming there throwing my stuff on my face myself, so it's gonna look a little crappy with me. Bear with me. Story, man, story. Just keep your mind, because my character in the beginning wakes up to find he's a zombie, and the first thing he thinks of to get rid of this zombie look is throw powder on his face. So he's like, push powder through this whole thing, but I don't put enough on, so it still looks like, what? I'm just some dude with a little bit of powder on my face. So whatever, we'll figure out. Storyline, folks. Keep the story in your mind. Don't. I'm almost a MacGuffin at this point.
How did you two find out, since this is your first film and you're doing this together, how did you decide to get involved with a zombie film, and how did you find out about this?
So this is kind of our second film. We were extras in another film we got into that by Matt Burns. So we were cast in that because they were actually filming it at the haunted house that we worked at. So we ended up finding out about it through all that. And then while filming that, he was telling us about this film. And he kind of got Bobby into that. And then I got brought in somehow. I'm not really sure,
Yeah.
but
He just got me in contact with Wesley, and I was like, he's like, you want to be extra zombies or whatnot? And I said, sure. And next thing we know, she's main alpha female zombie. I've got a role now. I helped a little bit of the camera work. It's been a great experience. Wesley's been awesome. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you.
By the end here. It's like I got the awesome overload for this thing, man. It's crazy. I mean, you couldn't find people like y'all anywhere else in this business. I think it just roll with the punches, do your stuff. It's incredible. It really is.
Yeah. How positively connected you all seem to be and how happy you seem to be interacting to each other is such a wonderful thing. And it's clear that would, whatever the little hiccups are and all that you mentioned, Wesley, it's clear that those relationships will come off and really work.
I'm doing the editing as I'm going too with the majority of everything. So, I won't have hopefully much editing, except for when my brain goes crazy on me, by, July, the end of July, August, September, that'll be crunch time. But I have in my situation, in that contract in August, I'll have a lot of downtime. Guess what I'm going to be? I'm going to be on my little computer, can't do reshoots, but we're going to get them all done. I don't think we need much of reshoots at this point anyway, because we're going to get so much extra stuff done in the next couple of weeks that we're going to be fine.
And then when that's all done, and after the premiere, you all get to sit back and put your feet up and appreciate that what you brought out there into the world. So
hopefully.
Jim, I have to ask you, having had a history now of being in zombie films here, and that being a part of what you're known for and you've done, you ever get tired of working with zombies?
No, because everything is completely different with each and every film. Now, you were talking earlier about, kind of that sort of cohesive feeling you get working together. Most of my work earlier was in theater. I worked for 7 years in Pittsburgh and with 2 different theater companies. A repertory company, we traveled all over. And when you're working in a rehearsal situation for 6 or 8 weeks with the same people daily for hours at a time, you get to work through all of the nice parts of people and the parts where they kind of have to go off by themselves and scream a little bit. But the end result is you have this kind of ensemble feeling that comes about. In film, strangely enough, even if we're not in the same scenes, everybody connected with a particular movie is still part of a little different family group. And I just find that kind of fascinating, but also really special.
Well, for myself, I'm feeling very blessed to work with the cast and crew that I have been. And once again, the goal is to make this thing shareable. I'm having a ball doing it, and it's worth every ounce of effort I'm putting into it. My thing is, I just gotta, get that goal in my head of what I want, try to get as close as I can to achieving it. And I have the people to do it. We have some locations that can work, and we've made work. So it's just putting all the pieces together to this little puzzle and, editing it and putting it out there. But if you get the chance, check it out. There's a trailer that's already posted on YouTube. The distribution or the process of getting this movie out is going to be DVDs as well. There's going to be hopefully a movie premiere. We'll see how it works out in Waynesboro. Streaming, I got to look at every available streaming situation I can to decide which ones that it'll go on. Hopefully a bunch. YouTube, it'll that's probably a given. I got to see how that's going to work out for getting the entire project on there, but shouldn't be an issue. Just it's going to take me 15 years to upload it, but. And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to give us a little talk. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate what you do and sharing everything that you do. And hopefully we've given you some more content that a lot of people want to hear about, hopefully.
I'm really excited about seeing it myself and presenting it that other people can kind of see the passion and the connectedness of all of you behind it. So I thank you.
I was just gonna say it's a great group of people. It's been a pleasure, and actually, if we're getting close to the end, and it's kind of sad because sometimes I actually look forward to hanging out, and I feel like I'm just hanging out, and I get to play pretend. How many people can say, I get to go out and I get to be this guy or this thing or whatever, and it's so much fun, and it's Woo! Love you all.
Love you too, Russ.
Would the other Russell like to give us any closing words of
Yeah,
wisdom?
I've never done a zombie movie before. I did a couple of indie small slasher films that are either in post-production hell or still filming supposedly, but it's been interesting. I've really enjoyed working with Wes and the rest of the cast and looking forward to what's coming up.
Oh yeah, you're kind of quality control too, if you haven't noticed it. You're my go-to dude. Like, does this work? And you see something like you posted that doesn't make any sense or something, or like, can you tweak that? And I was like, oh, I can. So just
I try
keep
not
on.
to second guess too much.
Yeah, no, it's never too much. Gotta get this thing. You gotta get a good product out there.
Rita, any closing thoughts?
Merry Christmas.
Rita, do you have anything you'd want to share?
Me or who?
Huh? Me.
I was.
Me, this
Yes.
BFF. For life.
Yeah.
No, I've been in a lot of indie films. I've been in major network shows, so I'm actually very much enjoying this. And I guarantee the end product is not going to be anything as bad as one of the first movies I was in that I'm still selling at my table for $40 a copy because it's in demand. And it's so bad.
Oof. Give me any ideas, man. I don't want to. I'm screwed.
So
You
even
jinxed it.
bad films make money.
Yeah. Be sure, come and see Z-ero, the new cult classic that everybody wants to have a part of. They've got to have it now.
The hype man.
You got it, man.
Made me think of Coke Zero.
Jim, any closing comments from you?
No, you allowed me some time to give a few thoughts that I had along the way. I appreciate that. It's great to see everybody. I can kind of put some faces with the characters, and I'm just pleased to be part of the project. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your hosting us tonight, or today, whenever the show's.
It's just been a great time working with Wes and the rest of the group. I'm looking forward. We have our last shoot this coming Sunday. So I'm looking forward to seeing what, Wes has planned for my character and everybody else for that matter. He's been, this is his first film. So he's, been very relaxed and laid back, which I appreciate. And of course, I've worked with the Russells before. So that's been kind of exciting to work with them again. And I'm just looking very much forward to seeing what Wes does with the film and, hoping everything pieces together like he envisions it. And, it's just been a lot of fun working with everybody.
Sharah and Bobby, kind of a close out with you two. Do you have any parting thoughts? And then we'll say goodnight so that Wesley can get back to working on a barn or whatever Wesley was working on.
Yeah, I just thank Wes and everybody that's doing this. It's a lot of fun getting to participate in this sort of stuff, even though, it's not acting for me, apparently. But it's a lot of fun to do and to be a part of something, bigger than us and be able to do it together. It's very fun.
It's just awesome to be a part of it. I mean, doing the haunted house every October was, great. I've done it for, I don't even know, like 15 years now. She's done it with me as well. But just doing this and actually being a part of something big that's coming together like this is just awesome to be a part of. And Wesley's just great. Gotta put that in there. He just makes it so easy and laid back, and it's a lot easier. And the lines yet are hard, but to remember stuff like that, but Wesley's just big help and just makes it like it's nothing, hanging out, having fun. Camera's looking at you, but
I'm really looking forward to seeing these films, and hopefully I'll be able to run into all of you too. So you guys out there,
Thank you.
check it out.